Clara Bennett had been a pediatric nurse for more than 30 years, long enough to know that some calls carried a different weight. When her phone rang late on a quiet Sunday evening, she almost let it go to voicemail. Then she heard the message. A man's voice, calm but strained, asked for her help. His name was Victor Hale, a businessman known for building empires out of nothing. But money, he said, had failed him now. His 5-year-old daughter, Lily, had been in pain and fear for 6 months, and no doctor could explain why. Clara listened carefully, sitting at her small kitchen table, fingers wrapped around a warm mug of tea. Victor explained that Lily screamed at the sight of hospitals, refused examinations, and cried at night, holding her stomach as if something inside hurt deeply. "We have flown across the country," Victor said. "Specialists, scans, tests. They say nothing is wrong, but she is not okay." Clara closed her eyes. She had heard this before, not the billionaire part, but the helplessness. She agreed to come. The next morning, Clara arrived at the Hale estate, a place too large and too quiet for a child. Lily sat curled on a sofa, clutching a worn stuffed rabbit, eyes wide and wary. "This is Miss Clara," Victor said softly. Lily did not answer. Clara crouched to Lily's level and smiled gently. "Hello, Lily. I like your rabbit. Does it have a name?" Lily whispered, "Moon." It was the first word she had spoken to a stranger in weeks. Clara felt a small door open. She knew then that the answers they needed would not be found in machines or charts, but in patience, trust, and listening to what was not being said. Over the next few days, Clara did not rush anything. She did not bring needles or cold tools. She brought crayons, storybooks, and time. Victor watched from a distance, unsure but hopeful. Lily slowly allowed Clara closer, talking in small pieces. One afternoon, while they colored at the dining table, Clara asked, "Does your tummy hurt all the time?" Lily nodded without looking up. "It hurts because it's scared," Lily said. Clara paused. "Scared of what?" Lily shrugged. "Of losing things." That night, Clara spoke privately with Victor. He admitted that Lily's mother, Anna Hale, had died 3 years earlier after a long illness. Nn'efolktales, wait, not using first person. Victor said, "Anna used to say Lily felt everything deeply." He looked down. After Anna died, Lily changed. The next day, Clara noticed something unusual. Lily refused to change clothes and became upset when Clara suggested a bath. "No," Lily said sharply. "I can't." Clara knelt again. "Can you tell me why?" Lily hesitated, then lifted her shirt just a little. Beneath it was an old bandage, yellowed and loose, wrapped around her belly. "Mommy put it there," Lily said quickly. "It keeps me safe." Clara felt her chest tighten. She did not touch it. "How long has it been there?" Lily thought. "Since Mommy went to the stars." That night, Clara gently explained this to Victor. He covered his face with his hands. "I never noticed," he said. "I was too busy trying to fix everything else." Clara said calmly, "Grief hides in small places. Children carry it on their skin when they cannot carry it in words." Clara knew she had to move carefully. The bandage was not just cloth. It was a promise, a memory, and a shield. The next morning, she sat with Lily by the window as sunlight spilled across the floor. "Lily," Clara said softly, "can I tell you a story?" Lily nodded. Once there was a little bird whose mother tied a ribbon around her wing to remind her she was loved. The bird grew bigger, but the ribbon stayed the same. One day, the ribbon began to hurt. Lily listened closely. "Did the bird take it off?" she asked. "Not right away," Clara said. First, she learned that love does not fall off, even when ribbons do. Lily was quiet for a long time. Then she asked, "If I take it off, will Mommy forget me?" Clara shook her head. Mothers never forget. Love lives in your laugh, your memories, and the people who care for you. Lily touched the edge of the bandage, but pulled her hand back. "It's stuck," she whispered. Clara smiled gently. "Then we will ask it politely." Later, Victor joined them. He sat on the floor, his expensive suit forgotten. "Lily," he said, voice shaking, "Mommy would want you to be comfortable." Lily looked at him. Will you stay? She asked. Always, Victor said. Clara suggested they do nothing that day. Trust needed space. That evening, Lily slept longer than she had in weeks. Clara wrote notes in her journal, not about symptoms, but about words, fears, and small victories. She knew the hardest part was coming, but she also knew Lily was beginning to feel less alone. 2 days later, Lily surprised everyone. She walked into the sunroom where Clara was reading and said, I think the bandage is tired. Clara set the book down. Do you want help? Lily nodded slowly. Victor stood nearby, silent and pale. Clara explained every step before doing anything. I will be very gentle, she said. And you can stop me anytime. Lily held her rabbit tight. As the bandage was carefully loosened, Lily winced, then relaxed. The skin beneath was red and sore, but not seriously harmed. It was itchy, Lily said. Clara cleaned the area softly and applied soothing cream. Your body was trying to tell you something, Clara said. Lily looked down. It feels better, she whispered, surprised. Victor turned away, tears falling freely. I thought love meant holding on, he said. Clara replied, sometimes love means letting go. That night, Lily slept without curling into herself. She laughed the next morning at breakfast. Clara stayed with the family for several weeks, helping Victor learn how to talk about Anna without fear, helping Lily draw pictures of her mother that did not hurt to look at. One day, Lily handed Clara a drawing of a heart with wings. This is Mommy, she said. She's not stuck anymore. Clara smiled. Healing had begun, not with wealth or technology, but with kindness, patience, and the courage to face what had been hidden. By the end of the month, the house felt different. It was still large, but it was warmer, filled with laughter and small routines. Lily ran through the halls again, her steps light and free. Victor learned to slow down, to sit and listen, to grieve alongside his daughter instead of apart from her. Clara prepared to leave, her work done for now. On her last day, Lily hugged her tightly. Will you forget me? Lily asked. Clara knelt and looked her in the eyes. Never, she said. And you don't need anything on your skin to remember love. After Clara left, letters and drawings arrived at her small apartment. Pictures of school days, new friends, and hearts without bandages. Clara kept them all. She often thought about how healing rarely comes from machines alone. It comes from seeing, from listening, and from helping people release pain without losing love. After Clara Bennett left the Hale estate, the quiet felt different, not empty, but thoughtful. Victor Hale stood in the kitchen one morning, watching Lily pour cereal by herself. Milk spilled onto the counter, and Lily laughed instead of crying. Oops, she said, grabbing a towel. Victor smiled, a soft, unsure smile he was still learning to use. Your mother used to spill milk every morning, he said without thinking. Lily looked up. For a moment, Victor worried he had said too much. But Lily only asked, did she laugh too? Victor nodded. She laughed just like you. Lily considered this, then smiled again. Later that day, Victor found himself sitting in Anna's old study, a room he had avoided for years. He held one of her scarves and felt sadness rise, but it did not crush him anymore. He remembered Clara's words, sometimes love means letting go. That evening, Lily asked, Daddy, can we talk about Mommy before bed? Victor hesitated, then sat beside her. Yes, he said. We can talk. Lily asked simple questions, and Victor answered honestly, without rushing or hiding. When Lily fell asleep, Victor stayed longer, realizing that healing was not a moment, but a series of choices made every day. Weeks passed, and Lily returned to school. On her first day, she clung to Victor's hand at the classroom door. What if my tummy hurts again? She whispered. Victor knelt. Then we talk about it, he said. And we listen. Lily nodded and walked inside. The teacher later told Victor, she's quiet, but she watches everything. At home, Lily began asking deeper questions. One afternoon she asked, why did Mommy get sick? Victor took a breath. Sometimes bodies stop working, even when people do everything right, he said. Lily frowned. Did I do something wrong? Victor shook his head firmly.
No.
Never. He pulled her close. Nothing you did caused that. Lily relaxed against him. That night, Victor wrote an email to Clara, thanking her again. He admitted how blind he had been, how busy grief had made him. Clara replied simply, reminding him that parents often carry pain in silence, thinking it protects their children. Talking is protection too, she wrote. Victor read the message twice and saved it. He was learning that strength did not come from control, but from presence. One rainy afternoon, Lily sat at the window drawing. She called out, "Daddy, come see." Victor joined her. The picture showed a little girl standing under an umbrella with a bright sun above the clouds.
"This is me," Lily said.
"And that's Mommy watching." Victor felt his throat tighten. "She looks proud," he said. Lily nodded. "She doesn't need the bandage anymore," she added thoughtfully. Victor realized that Lily was not forgetting Anna. She was placing her differently in her heart. That evening, Lily had a small stomach ache. Instead of panicking, Victor sat with her. "Where does it hurt?" he asked. "Here," Lily said, pointing. "And here," pointing to her chest. Victor smiled gently. "Feelings can sit there too," he said. They breathed together until Lily relaxed. No hospitals, no fear. Just understanding. Victor later thought about how many doctors had missed this, not because they were careless, but because pain does not always speak in clear language. Sometimes it whispers, and only those who slow down can hear it. Clara Bennett, meanwhile, returned to her small routines. She volunteered at a local clinic and took long walks in the evening. Lily's drawings hung on her refrigerator. One night, she received a voice message. It was Lily. "Miss Clara," Lily said shyly. "I told my class about you. I said you helped me be brave." Clara smiled, tears in her eyes. She replied, "You were brave all by yourself." Clara often thought about how many children carried invisible bandages. She began training younger nurses, teaching them to listen beyond charts. "Ask about stories," she told them. "Ask about memories." Some listened, some did not. But Clara knew even one child helped was enough. She wrote in her journal that healing was not fixing what was broken, but understanding why it broke in the first place. Victor decided to make changes too. He reduced his work hours and stopped flying constantly. When his assistant protested, Victor said, "This is not negotiable." He started cooking simple meals with Lily. One evening, Lily asked, "Do you miss Mommy every day?" Victor answered honestly, "Yes." Lily nodded. "Me too," she said. They sat quietly, not trying to fix the feeling. Victor realized that grief shared felt lighter. He also began donating to children's hospitals, but with a new focus, support for emotional care, not just machines. At a board meeting, he said, "We treat bodies well. We must treat hearts too." Some people looked confused. Others nodded slowly. Victor did not need their approval. He had learned the cost of ignoring pain that could not be scanned. On the anniversary of Anna's death, Victor asked Lily how she wanted to remember her mother. Lily thought hard. "I don't want to be sad all day," she said. "Can we do something she liked?" Victor smiled. "She loved the ocean," he said. They took a quiet trip to the beach. Lily collected shells and told stories about Anna, mixing memory and imagination. "She liked blue," Lily said, "and singing off-key." Victor laughed. "That part is true." They stood by the water, holding hands. Lily closed her eyes. "I think she's happy," she said. Victor felt peace settle, not replacing grief, but resting beside it. That night, Lily asked, "Why did the bandage hurt me if Mommy gave it to me?" Victor answered carefully, "Because sometimes things meant to protect us are only for a little while," he said. Lily nodded. "Like training wheels," she said. Victor laughed. "Exactly like that." Lily smiled proudly. "I don't need them now." Victor realized how wise children could be when given space to understand. He thought of Clara again, grateful for her patience and courage to see what others had missed. Months later, Lily had a routine checkup. She walked into the doctor's office calmly. The doctor smiled in surprise. "You're very brave," she said. Lily replied, "I was scared before, but I talked about it." Victor watched, amazed. Afterward, he sent Clara another update. "She's thriving," he wrote. "And so am I." Clara replied with a simple heart drawn in text. No long explanations were needed anymore. As Lily grew, the memory of pain faded, but the lesson remained. When she felt sad, she spoke. When she felt scared, she asked questions. Victor followed her lead, learning alongside her. The house once filled with silence now echoed with conversations. Victor realized that grief had not disappeared. It had changed shape. It was no longer a weight pressing down, but a thread connecting past and present. One evening, Lily asked, "Do you think Mommy sent Miss Clara to us?" Victor smiled thoughtfully. "I think people find each other when they need to," he said. Lily seemed satisfied. She hugged her rabbit and yawned. Victor tucked her in, feeling a quiet gratitude for second chances, for lessons learned late, but not too late. Clara, reading Lily's latest letter, reflected on her long career. She had treated countless illnesses, but this case stayed with her. It reminded her why she became a nurse, to see the whole person, not just the pain. She wrote back, encouraging Lily to keep drawing and asking questions. "Your heart is strong," she wrote. Years later, Lily barely remembered the bandage, but she remembered the feeling of being heard. Victor often told friends, "The most important thing I learned is to listen." Some nodded politely, others asked questions. Victor shared his story, without shame. He hoped it would help someone else notice what they were missing. On a quiet afternoon, Victor and Lily visited Clara together. Lily was taller now, confident. She hugged Clara and said, "I'm not scared anymore." Clara smiled. "I know," she said. They sat and talked, sharing tea and stories. No pain, no urgency, just connection. As the sun set, Clara watched Victor and Lily walk away. She felt content. Healing, she knew, did not always mean forgetting. It meant understanding, accepting, and choosing to move forward with love intact. She closed her door gently, carrying their story with her. The story of Clara, Victor, and Lily was never about wealth or medicine alone. It was about unseen wounds and the courage to face them. It was about a child who learned that love does not live in objects, but in memories and shared moments. And it was about the quiet power of kindness, patience, and listening, the kind of healing that stays long after the pain is gone. Time continued its gentle work. Lily grew older, her voice steadier, her questions sharper. One afternoon, while walking home from school, she said, "Daddy, why do some kids in my class get angry so fast?" Victor thought before answering. "Sometimes anger is a coat people wear when they're cold inside," he said. Lily considered this. "Like when I was scared?" she asked. "Yes," Victor replied. "Very much like that." Lily nodded. "Then maybe they need someone like Miss Clara." Victor smiled. "Or someone like you, who knows how to listen." Lily kicked a pebble along the sidewalk, thoughtful. That evening, she wrote in her journal, drawing a small heart next to the words "listening helps." Victor watched her quietly, realizing that the pain Lily once carried had turned into understanding. It was not erased. It was transformed. And that, he knew, was a kind of strength no money could buy. At school, Lily's teacher noticed the change too. "She helps other kids when they cry," the teacher told Victor during a meeting. "She doesn't try to fix things. She just sits with them." Victor felt a quiet pride. Later, he told Lily what the teacher had said. Lily shrugged. "I just don't want them to feel alone," she said. Victor replied, "That matters more than you know." That night, Lily asked, "Do you think Mommy would like who I'm becoming?" Victor answered, without hesitation, "I think she would be amazed." Lily smiled, satisfied. Outside, the house was quiet, but inside, something warm and steady lived on. Clara Bennett, now working fewer hours, spent more time mentoring young nurses. She often told Lily's story, not the names, not the details, but the lesson. "Look for what the child is holding on to," she would say. "Sometimes it's not pain. Sometimes it's love that has nowhere to go." One nurse asked, "Does it always work?" Clara smiled gently. "Healing is not a switch," she said. It's a path. At home, Clara received a postcard from Lily, now written in confident handwriting. I want to help kids when I grow up, it said. Clara held the card to her chest, knowing the circle was continuing. Years later, Victor stood at the back of a small school auditorium, watching Lily on stage. She was part of a class presentation about feelings and kindness. When it was her turn to speak, Lily said, "Sometimes people hurt where you can't see. If you're patient, they'll tell you." Victor felt tears rise, but he did not hide them. After the show, Lily ran to him. "Did I do okay?" she asked. "You did more than okay," Victor said, hugging her. "You told the truth." Lily laughed. Miss Clara would say, "That's the best kind." Victor nodded. She would. That evening, Victor wrote one last long letter to Clara. He thanked her again, not just for helping Lily, but for teaching him how to be present. Clara replied days later, her words simple as always. "You did the hardest part," she wrote. "You stayed." Victor read the letter slowly. He understood now that healing had not been something Clara gave them. It was something she helped them find within themselves. He folded the letter carefully and placed it beside Anna's photo, no longer painful to look at, just quietly meaningful. The story did not end with a cure or a grand moment. It ended in ordinary days filled with listening, remembering, and choosing love again and again. Lily grew with an open heart. Victor learned to slow down. Clara continued her quiet work, one child at a time. And the hidden wound that once caused so much pain became a lesson passed forward. That true healing begins when someone is brave enough to see, kind enough to listen, and patient enough to let love move freely, without fear.